Sam Darnold's a great story and all, but he's not better than Kyler Murray. And we'll prove that very much so here, Johnny Venerable, as we load up for the Cardinals Vikings.
Plus, we'll talk to Brian Baldinger, friend of the program. Is it time to worry about the Arizona Cardinals offensive line? That and more starting now. Welcome in. Happy holidays from PHNX Cardinals, live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star. The show brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Choose your offer. Find out why it's never ordinary with our friends at Bet365. Arizona Cardinals currently 3.5-point road dogs at Minnesota this weekend. I'm Johnny Venerable, my co-hosts in Studio K, Mr. Brack and Damon Dawg, producer extraordinaire behind the mic. We will be joined by All-City NFL analyst Brian Baldinger. Just a couple of minutes, Bo. Fired up here on a football Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to get Baldy's thoughts on what kind of impact Darius Robinson could potentially make in his debut. We talked to the 27th overall pick. We talked to Kyler Murray. We talked to Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll get the sights, the sounds from the Cardinals facility. Practice today, their first preparation, pieces of preparation that they put in place to take on this 9-2 Vikings team. Let's give a nice warm welcome, holiday welcome to our friends in the chat. Neo Man, how about Emilio, AZ, Daniel, Lorenzo, Ars, Robert, the entire squad's here. That guy Angelo already dropping a super chat that we'll get to shortly. But Johnny, we got business to tend to.
We do. Here he is, NFL All-City analyst, Baldy's Breakdowns. Mr. Brian Baldinger joins the program, and it's been a rarity, Baldy. We've had you on the show each of the last several weeks. Cardinals racking up dubs. They get a little bit of a reality check with a loss at Seattle, and you're the perfect person to break down this game with for a number of different reasons, but it just really felt like Cardinals got out physicaled by Seattle. Is that an overreaction, or is that what?
No, Johnny, you got it right. I mean, they lost, right? They had been really winning the line of scrimmage, especially in the run game. And Leonard Williams and Jerron Reed and Byron Murphy, those guys beat them up front. And, they didn't, their double teams weren't knocking people off the ball, and they got out physical up there, whether, they're laid off the ball because of the noise. That was a big part of the fact that they just couldn't put drives together, sustained drives. Defensively, look, they give up one touchdown. They played well. They pressured Geno Smith. They did a lot of good things on that side of the ball. But I thought for the first time, I don't know how long now. I mean, at least since the San Francisco win, they did not win the line of scrimmage up front on the offensive line.
The Cardinals had won 4 straight leading into this game. The offense was humming over 28 points per game. We've talked to a couple players. They're confident they can get back on track. Baldy, I look at this division. It's been flipped kind of upside down. Seattle and the Cardinals atop of it right now. My biggest takeaway wasn't like what the Cardinals couldn't do. It was that Seahawks defense. Do you think they've turned the corner under Mike Macdonald?
Yes, Bo. I've been looking for it. They've made a lot of changes. They changed the linebacking core since the start of the season. Terrell Dodson, Jerome Baker are gone. They got the rookie Therese Knight in there. But they thought for the first time all year, they look like the Ravens defense from a year ago. They spot drop. They match up zone on you, and they sit on top of you, and they keep those safeties in the middle of the field, and it's just challenging. It's challenging to the quarterback. It's a reason why the Ravens led the league in defense, in takeaways, in sacks a year ago. They made the quarterback hold the ball, and they forced Kyler into the one mistake he's made in a couple of weeks now. I mean, it was a bad throw to Wilson, and Kobe takes it to the house, and that was really the turning point of the game. But, yes, I thought Seattle turned the corner. Now, can they sustain that? Can they do it this week and next week, we'll see. But I thought for the first time they looked a lot like the Ravens from a year ago.
What do you need to see from Kyler Murray in these last 6 games? Because everything's out in front of Arizona, even with that loss, Baldy. Like, they play Seattle again in 2 weeks. Very tough matchup that we'll discuss here in a minute at Minnesota on Sunday. But, I mean, you look at it, I think the Cardinals probably would have signed up for this before the start of the season. You're tied for first going into December.
You can't ask for anything more. I'm going to be there in Minnesota on Sunday. I can't wait, to see the Cardinals live, talk to Kyle or see some of the guys. But this is a huge test. I mean, Chicago took Minnesota to the brink last week. They easily could have won that game. So it's not like Minnesota's winning and they're playing good football, and look at all the stats. They're up there, offense, defense, all that stuff. But this is what you sign up for. This is what Kyler wants. He's going to be compared to Sam Darnold in some ways, and they get to match wits defensively, against a really good coordinator in Brian Flores. But Caleb probably played his best game of the year last week against him. So the stats are the stats. Like, Kyler goes up there and plays a good game, and they win. There's nobody they can't beat, including Seattle next week at home.
It's been a couple quiet weeks on the ground for James Conner and crew. Have you seen anything from the film that would indicate some red flags for the Cardinals, or has it just been some pretty tough defensive performances from their opponents?
Well, I mean, they've got backups at right guard and right tackle. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to deny what Tristan Colon is and, what Beachum is at this point in his career. They're back, and they kind of look like backups last week. Now, can they get back to doing some of the things they were doing, running their gut plays and power plays? They can. Minnesota challenges in a lot of different ways. You don't want to get behind the sticks on this team. You don't want to get into 3rd and long against this team because they come at you in a variety of ways. But the one thing you can do to keep them out of those situations is run the ball. So they're going to get a chance to redeem themselves this week. And if they do, if they can get back to running it, I think it doesn't make Minnesota's defense goes away, because they'll play blitz zero on first down. I mean, there's no real tendencies of what Flores is going to do. They just have a lot of players that play kind of positionless football. They kind of line up everywhere with Josh Metellus, Pat Jones, Jonathan Greener. They can line up just about anywhere. So they kind of keep you off guard from that standpoint. But the one thing that you can do against any team that wants to pressure as much as the Vikings do is you run right at them.
We've been talking about this offense, and slowly but surely this defense making a name for itself under Nick Rallis and Jonathan Gannon. Baldy, they're 11th in points per game allowed this year, which I don't think many of us saw coming. And they're fresh off. They gave up their first touchdown, Baldy, this past weekend, the single touchdown for the first time in almost a month. Yeah. Now we assume, we've teased this a while with you on the show, Darius Robinson set to play his first game on Sunday. What could a boost like that with number 56 be inserted in the lineup? What more can they do defensively with him?
Well, I mean, first of all, he's going to have the freshest legs out there. So, I mean, there's that advantage, and just the eagerness to get back and get his career, underway here. Now, I mean, every defensive lineman, there is a growth period to all of this. I don't care what the name. I saw Chop Robinson, first-round pick, Miami, had his breakout game last week in Week 12. Like, he looked like a first-round pick for the first time. Jared Verse has been very good since Week 1. But he's in that category of all these guys that, that got a chance right away to start. And it's just slow growth. But I think the fact that he's eager, wants to be out there, he's healthy for the first time. We'll see. They've got a third-team left tackle playing left tackle right now. It's not like the Philadelphia Eagles are up front in front of them. So, I want to see Darius make a difference. He wants to make a difference. But you got to play the scheme. You got to play the system. They played a reduced front last week, meaning it's kind of like both ends play inside. You see Xavier, Laquetta, all these different guys playing outside, and you play Kazir at their linebacker spot. It's a popular front against a team that has an Aaron Jones. The Bears played that last week. They gave up a bunch. They gave up one big run. Otherwise, they played pretty good in the run game. But he's going to be part of that reduced front. And so, all right, you're going to see double teams. You're going to see, let's see go stack them up right there, knock off the ball. and split some of these double teams,
It's crazy. I mean, to think about the last time we saw Darius play was in the preseason. You broke it down with us, right after the preseason performance, all 10 plays, and he's going up against the Saints starting offensive line. You've got Penning, you've got Ruiz in there, and he's drawing penalties, and he's, knocking ball carriers back behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, I know he's going to try to keep his lungs, in working order here. What can we truly expect from this player joining this rotation this late in the season?
Well, you just want to, at the end of the day, just see him show up. See him in the stat column. All right, tackle for loss behind the line of scrimmage. Affect the quarterback in some way. You want to always trying to get inside push in all these pocket quarterbacks. Sam Darnold is elusive, so if he breaks the pocket, can he spin out of a double team? Can he get to the quarterback, get him down to the ground when that's possible? But play his techniques. I mean, everything starts with your hands, and stack and shed blocks. The basics of stuff. Some of the things we saw at Missouri, some of the stuff we saw in 10 snaps in preseason. Stack, shed, get off blocks, defeat blocks. Don't stay blocked. Some of those things. And then at the end, what do you remember about Darius Robinson? Did he draw a holding call? Like those kind of things show up. And that's kind of what you just want. Sometimes you don't notice these guys. I've seen Myles Garrett go through an entire game, not get the stat column. That's what you don't want to see from him tomorrow or Sunday. You want to see him show up.
Baldy, with just a month and a half left to play in this division, really as tight as any division in the NFL, how do you kind of hedge your favorite, your front runner? I know Seattle's favorited right now, but Cardinals, they still have to play the Carolinas of the world. They get New England. They play all three division rivals again one more time. And then you look at San Francisco. Brock Purdy's not throwing at practice. The LA Rams, who everybody wanted to glom on, looked bad on, what was that, Sunday Night Football against Philadelphia? Like, right now, iron to the fire here. Who's your favorite to win this division?
I guess you got to say the way Seattle played last week, and that, they've won 2 games in a row, 2 division games in a row. I guess they've got to be the front runners, although I don't think anybody's in love with Seattle's offense. I know Geno's a baller. We know, what Jackson Smith and Jigba and DK are, but it's not like they're dominating these games. They're not. I saw San Francisco and Green Bay last week. They looked awful. I mean, whether it was penalties, whether it was just mistakes, drop balls, like they just keep them in really, I guess the head scratcher is Christian McCaffrey. He just doesn't look like he's got 43 carries. He's averaging a pedestrian 3.5 yards a carry. He just doesn't look special at all right now. I think they can come out of this funk if they get Bosa back healthy, if McCaffrey can at any point look like McCaffrey from last year, and if you get the quarterback back. But, I mean, even with all that stuff, they haven't looked special all year. They haven't looked like a team that was in the Super Bowl a year ago. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to turn that around because, to me, they look slow. They look like a slow football team. Sometimes that happens when when you have age on your group. But, I just looking at the playoff game against Green Bay last year, and that was just last week. The top 6 defensive linemen from that playoff game are either not there anymore or were hurt, whether it's Bosa and Hargrave or, Armstead's gone and Givens is injured. Top 6 guys from a year ago that was part of a great defense. So I'm not in love with the 49ers, and the Rams got just boat raced last week. And they run into another team that can run the ball like that. They'll run them right out of the gym again. So I don't know. I think the Cardinals are hanging right in there with the best of them. They get good games at home, division games coming up. You always stack your team against the other teams in the division. They're going to get a look at Seattle next week, but this is big. I mean, if they find any way to beat the Vikings this week, they're the favorites to win this division.
If you follow him on Twitter, you should, at Baldy NFL, you'll see that he broke down a little bit of Cardinals rookie 4th rounder, Adrian Taylor Demerson, and his performance, his 2nd straight start. Jalen Thompson back at practice today, Baldy. So they're going to have potentially a 3-headed monster. How do you work that safety room? I mean, Budda Baker's playing about as well as he's ever played, and that's saying something considering his career. JT returns. Has Taylor Demerson earned the right to stay on the field in some capacity going forward?
Absolutely. And I think Nick will have packages where all three safeties are on the field. First of all, anytime you're in the red zone, you basically have three safeties out there. I mean, you just need to be able to cover and be able to affect the run game when teams will try to run it down there. But you want more speed on the field. I can see Buddha coming down next to Kazir White in packages and Taylor and the Rabbit and, Jalen on the back end. I can see a variety of three safety packages. A lot of teams are playing three safeties right now in this league. And I can see the way that Dadrian covers ground, the way that he tackled last week. I could see a three safety package for sure going forward.
Before Sunday's matchup, we've got a slate of Thursday games tomorrow, Baldy. And speaking of slate, what's on your Thanksgiving hierarchy dinner plate? We got to ask it. What's a top and then maybe something you don't vibe with?
Well, I mean, look, for Thanksgiving is the single greatest holiday ever invented, period. I mean, because there's nobody that can tell you that you can't keep eating or you can't keep watching football or you can't keep napping or you can't go for another glass of wine. Like it's all of the indulgences that you can have. You can get it all in one day. Now, for me, like I'm doing the post game after the first and second game tomorrow. So my Thanksgiving doesn't start till like 8:30 tomorrow night. So I'm working in a compressed period of time. So, I mean, as soon as that last TV appearance ends, I know I'm going to have a glass of red in my hand, and I might just start with pumpkin pie before I even get to the main course. Like I gotta compress 8 hours of eating into like 3. So I'm going to have a ball tomorrow.
That's working backwards right there, but
That's it.
I don't disagree with it. That's unbelievable strategy. Hey, last question, just because we have the advantage of you being there in Minnesota. I'll be there too. By the way, bring a coat. I'm looking at the forecast.
I saw it's going to be like single digits. Yeah,
it's going to be brutally cold, bitterly cold. But when you look at this team, who are you most excited to catch up with before the game?
Well, sometimes quarterbacks warm up before a game. I always like to talk to the quarterback. Like, I don't know if Kyler's a big warm up. I haven't seen him in a while.
He'll go out there.
So if Kyler's out there, I'm going to talk to Kyle. Because I used to joke with him. He's from Allen, Texas, and I have a farm in North Texas, not far from Allen. I used to joke with him that in Allen, Texas, they build the football stadium first, and whatever money is left over, then they build a school. They had to rebuild the stadium there. I'm going to go talk to Kyler, James Conner for sure. I'd like to see Darius Robinson if he's out there. I'd like to catch up with Paris Johnson, certainly Buddha. So there's some guys that I definitely want to say hello to before that game, warming up, just catching up with them.
I don't know, Bo. I feel good about the All-City presence and the vibes going into this game. I feel like we've got the advantage over the Vikings.
If they let me sneak on the field, I'll try to
come on down, get that field pass.
All right.
Come on. Let's
go get on the
field. Make sure you're following, of course, on Twitter at Baldy NFL. We're looking forward to the coverage on Sunday. And, of course, tomorrow, the Thursday triple header on Thanksgiving, Black Friday game too. Baldy, happy Thanksgiving. Always great to catch up. Let's catch up after a win on Monday.
All right. We'll see you up there in the Great White North on Sunday, Bo, and then I'll catch up with you guys next week.
Perfect.
The best. Baldy's breakdowns. I bet Baldy's doing a stand-up outside. I know Bo doesn't want to do that, but like a joint Baldy, Bo Brock, 5-degree breakdown outside. And
I'm just packing a winter coat. That's all that's going to fit in my luggage.
Do you own?
I do. I lived up north in the Pacific Northwest for 3 years, and I held on to it. So luckily, good call.
Damon, do you have any winter clothes you could ever wear?
This is like the funniest thing. This is so Damon. I bought like a big puffer jacket on clearance from Viore and spent like way too much money on it and was like, whenever I need this, I have it now. So it's just been sitting in my closet, brand new, tag still on it. Yeah.
That's so Damon.
Just in case you need it here in the desert, you need a sub-zero temperature jacket.
I'm a gear hound. I just love to be able to just be a chameleon in any type of environment.
It's true.
Go straight into, Miami wearing my, knit Tommy Bahama shirt, and then go to Minnesota wearing my big giant puffer jacket. I need it all.
Puffy coat. Is it Gore-Tex by chance? You probably don't understand that reference.
No.
All right. Let's keep it going here. We got our Sam Darnold. Is he better than Kyler Murray? No. Conversation right around the corner. Good stuff from Baldy. Good stuff from our friends at Bet365. Cardinals, as we mentioned at the top of the show, a 3.5-point dog on the road. I like the odds. It's a ton of underdogs that we like today. Stay tuned for hold or fold the line later in the show. But right now, jump on the app. It's the Bet365 app. Never ordinary. It's because new customers right now can place a mere $5 bet and get $150 in bonus bets. No questions asked. All you got to do, sign up with the bonus code PHNX365. Deposit just $10. And again, a 5 spot's going to get you $150 in bonus bets. You can do hockey, basketball, baseball season's over. But you know what? How about a little football? College football, huge slate of games this weekend, college and NFL alike, and you can dabble on them all right now by downloading the app. And again, $5 is $150. Find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary, friends, with Bet365. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in Arizona. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT-STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
Big holiday where you got people coming to your house, your apartment, your condo, and if your flooring's not dialed in, people are going to be like, what's up with so-and-so over here? It doesn't take it seriously here. Your carpeting's all a mess. You got stains over here. You got boards coming up, from floorboards coming up. Check out our friends over at Empire today. Dial in your flooring, and they're going to make it as easy as possible with their professionals over there. They're going to make it quick, convenient, and make sure your dwelling look great. And save $350 while you're at it. It's a huge investment. Why not save some money right off the bat? Go to EmpireToday.com/PHNX, and you'll start to save $350 right away. Go to EmpireToday.com. Also tap into their virtual floor designer. You can see what the new flooring carpeting would look like in your room, your dwelling, wherever you're upgrading. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners receive that $350 discount when they use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/PHNX for all the details.
Kyler Murray versus Sam Darnold. Drop a like if you vibe with K1. Drop a like on this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Sam Darnold experiencing a career renaissance under head coach, quarterback guru Kevin O'Connell. But, Bo Brock, would you rather have moving forward Darnold 27, Kyler Murray just shy under 27, I believe. 21 touchdowns. Yep, 10 interceptions for Darnold this year. He is still a little bit turnover prone, but on pace for, let's take a look here. I've got the prediction here. On pace for 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 15 picks on the season for Minnesota. I'll pose it to you. Obviously, we're K1 till we die here. Have you been impressed with Sam Darnold this year? And do you think he has the edge over K1 coming into Sunday's matchup?
No, I mean, it goes without saying that I'm impressed by what Sam Darnold's been able to do to have, this career resurgence, or actually just kind of get his career on track after so many brutal seasons playing for the Jets and the Carolina Panthers of the world, and then having to be a backup for Brock Purdy there in San Francisco. For him to go in and do what nobody expected him to do, definitely tip the cap to him. He's lighting it up for 21 touchdown passes. But does he have the edge? Do the Vikings have the edge at quarterback? No, I don't. I would never say that. I think that Kyler Murray gives you, he has an elite skill set that I don't think Sam Darnold, even with a little bit of his mobility, can't tap into. I think that he does possess, that gunslinger mentality where he's going to try to make each throw fit. And you're seeing it work with a collection of playmakers that he has in Minnesota, to where he can get away with some things. And maybe Kyler Murray needs to kind of take some more risks in order to maybe see some bigger production as far as throwing touchdown passes. But I still think Kyler Murray is the better quarterback in this. The number's pretty similar outside of, the touchdown passes, but 22 total touchdowns to Kyler Murray's 16 total touchdowns. Kyler Murray, a lot fewer interceptions thrown, and obviously bigger numbers on the ground. I think that he gives you you can just do more offensively with K1.
Yeah. And if you don't realize how important coaching is with specifically a quarterback's development, I mean, Sam Darnold's never thrown 20 touchdowns in his NFL career. His career high, 2019, he had 19 touchdowns. He's got 21 with still 6 games left remaining. And I here's the best compliment I can give Sam Darnold. I think this is who he is this year. I think, like, I don't expect him to have some kind of gross regression. I think he's a better player than the quarterback that the Cardinals saw last weekend in Geno Smith. I think he's going to pose a tougher task. I still, to your point, would take Kyler Murray over him 10 times out of 10. We don't even know if the Vikings are going to roll with Sam Darnold next year. I would imagine right now they're having those conversations, certainly. But for me, it's like he went on the road. He put up, I think, like 3 touchdowns against Green Bay, a team that blew out the Cardinals. He lit up Chicago last week. He's beat up on, the AFC South. He's got a couple early wins that haven't aged as well against Houston, San Francisco, and the Giants. To Baldy's point, I do think, like, this is a beatable team, and this is a quarterback that can turn the ball over. But you look at the sum of the parts of, I don't think he's an elite head coach. He's in the class of very good, Kevin O'Connell. He's in the class that I think Jonathan Gannon is about to enter. They've got an elite home field advantage at that stadium, which is as loud as any. And they have, maybe, I mean, what do you think, Damon? Do the Vikings have the best wide receiving core in the NFL?
Certainly have the best number 1 receiver in the NFL. And Jordan Addison, if you're throwing in TJ Hawkinson, like that's a good group 2 and 3 right there as well. Yeah. I mean, it's up there. It's definitely top 5.
Yeah, I think, Bo, where you exploit Sam Darnold is what Baldy mentioned. I mean, they're missing their top 2 left tackles. Like, that has to be a point of emphasis.
Yeah, and can you exploit that? They've got the same amount of rushing attempts on the season. That's pretty crazy. 48 rushing attempts for Sam Darnold, 48 for Kyler Murray. One has 380 yards, the other has 165. There's just there's a difference there. And I think that, like it or not, I think that gives Kyler Murray the edge. But when you look at the passing stats, of course, you get the edge with Sam Darnold. But I think he does benefit from, when you look at where the Vikings are, they're not in the second year of a rebuild. That's where the Arizona Cardinals are. And Sam Darnold is, like Kyler Murray's, benefiting from just in year 2 of this system, but Sam Darnold even more so, that the Vikings are a more mature roster. And Sam Darnold's enjoying the benefits of that infrastructure being in place. So it's closer than I think a lot of people expected by a lot. But I think if people are just going off of his touchdown pass statistics, I think that they're just they're buying too much into that one stat.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who, I mean, they almost blew the game against Chicago. Like the Vikings games, like the Cardinals, some of their recent games have been 1 score, right? Now, Kevin O'Connell really is like the king of 1 score games. It feels like every year they have an incredible winning percentage within 1 score games dating back to 2 years ago when I think that they made the postseason. They win the NFC North that time. But this year, it really feels like last week, this game is going to come down to the 4th quarter and who can make more plays. I like Kyler Murray in this game because I like him in a dome. I like him in a controlled environment. I do think that, I'm not making excuses, that the elements played a factor last week with the rain. I mean, you can't tell me it didn't. And the Cardinals, they're going to have to pick up their game offensively from a run blocking standpoint. We know that, certainly from a pass protection standpoint. But here's where I'm going to have a hard time kind of reconciling this entire thing is if we come on the post-game show and Kyler Murray loses back-to-back weeks, I don't care what it looks like, to Geno Smith and Sam Darnold, like not great optics, right? Like we can talk about the state of a rebuild. We can talk about they're on the road, and those are true entities. But when you've got 2 teams very much in the same kind of hierarchy of like, you're probably a playoff team, certainly in Seattle's case, Vikings a little bit more established this year. Like, I don't want to be coming onto a post-game show and just like, hey, this Cardinals number 1 pick, franchise quarterback, just got outplayed by Geno Smith and Sam Darnold. Like, that's going to be a tough sell, especially with Geno Smith coming back to Arizona a week from Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the schedule, we started to forecast that when you have the edge at head coach and you have the edge at quarterback, I don't know if you can chalk it up. Kevin O'Connell's already won some big games in his career and put the Vikings in a really good spot each and every year he's at the helm, even when he had to kind of deal with the quarterback position being in flux last year with Kirk Cousins with the Achilles tear and him also deploying Joshua Dobbs for far too many games that any team should. But the quarterback edge, if you get it consistently enough, you should win those football games. And if you want to start to change the narrative around your franchise and you want to really kind of be taken seriously, you have to win you have to win these games. And to lose back to back, it starts to create, just data that people can pull from and say you didn't get it done against Geno or Sam Darnold, those teams. And that's all they'll kind of point to it. And it's tough to shrug that off. But I think Kyler Murray, and you'll hear from him in just a bit, he understands what's at stake. I mean, Michael Wilson said yesterday, they understand the criticalness of these upcoming games and how that they need to, after kind of squandering an opportunity, right the ship. And sometimes it's not going to just have the luxury of facing the Panthers in a couple weeks or the Patriots in a couple weeks. You got to do it now. This is a week by week league, and the Cardinals just came off a bad performance. They're going to have to do like they've done twice already this season and bounce back.
I think they will. I think we're going to get a good performance from Kyler in this offense. And I think, after, especially with how well Caleb Williams has played in recent weeks, culminating against this Vikings team, where it felt like the Bears were going to win that game multiple times, I think the Cardinals have a good shot. They're on the road. It's going to be a tall task. Would you consider this, if they win this game, probably their most significant win of the season? Like I think back to maybe the win at San Francisco, but outside of that, they can come away, as Baldy said, with a dub on Sunday.
Yeah,
it really gives you a clear identity of like, oh yeah, this is a top team in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that for the majority of the season has been winning football games. To go on the road and beat a 9-2 Vikings team, that would be the signature win of the 2024 season. I don't think anybody would doubt that.
We don't doubt that you're going to drop a like on this video, hear from Kyler Murray and Darius Robinson right around the corner. Smash that like button here on PHNX Cardinals. Can't wait to watch D-Rob play on Sunday. Can't wait to stop off at Circle K. Listen, it's the holiday season. If you're traveling with loved ones, be smart, fill up, and save money while you do it with America's Thirst Stop. The Inner Circle is the app with our friends at Circle K, and it's designed to save you money every single time. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app. All you got to do, enter your email, your phone number, and you're good to go. How about saving 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups? Save 3 cents per gallon every single day. Thirst, it's met its match. I don't know if Bo's going to be dabbling on the 79-cent Polar Pops or Frosters when it's 1 degree in Minnesota. But we'll be sipping that here in AZ on a holiday weekend. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today, Bo. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details.
I'm hitting the road for the holidays right after the show. I'm going to be going heading west, going to see the in-laws in Yuma.
Your precious Yuma.
My beloved. And also be headed back Friday, and then hitting the road to Minneapolis on Saturday for the game on Sunday, and then headed back. All this traveling. I mean, the thing I'm getting to here, I don't have to worry about service. I don't have to worry about cell service because Verizon has me covered. 'Tis the season to switch to Verizon. And right now, big time perks for it. Get a $200 Verizon gift card when you switch from whatever crappy carrier you're using right now, because I know you have issues. When you switch over to Verizon, you get to purchase the select phone and selected unlimited plans. Why not save big, get big money back? $200 gift card when you switch over to Verizon. Also be on the lookout very soon for ticket giveaways for Phoenix Suns games, courtesy of Verizon for the holiday season. Got to check this out. The $200 Verizon e-gift card is sent within 8 weeks and requires device payment purchase, minimum retail price of $799.99, and port in the new smartphone line or on postpaid unlimited plus or unlimited ultimate plan required. Switch to Verizon, get $200.
Switch to Verizon. You got to do it. You also got to shop our Black Friday sale. It's kicking off in just 24 hours from now, a little less than that. We are so fired up to present to you the definitive Black Friday deal. And right now, it's live for early access for our diehards, up to 75% off. I'm looking at that screen right now. Some of my favorite things we've ever done. First of all, the hoodies are elite, right? All 3 of them that are on there. Plus, the best hat you've ever seen, the all-black snapback hat. And then, of course, some of our personal favorites. We got our Henry mascot, Nux. We got the Bird Gang t-shirt. So much good stuff. And it's all store.allcitynetwork.com/prices/savings. And it's available right now at allcitynetwork.com. That's store.allcitynetwork.com. Here's what I want everybody to do. Become a diehard, right? Or if you're a diehard already, we appreciate you. Go to store.allcitynetwork.com. Put in your order. Take a screen capture of your gear. Tag us on Twitter. Immediate retweet, immediate follow from the Beat account. Immediate retweet from your boys here. Damon, myself, Bo. We want to see you repping PHNX sports gear. We want to see you repping PHNX Cardinals gear. Get the Cardinal gear. Sell it out. Let's rep it together. Again, it is so flipping cheap right now, especially for our diehards. Like 2 years ago, we had a shirt on the locker, Bo. It was like $2. I couldn't buy enough of it. The deals are insane. Revamp your wardrobe now. Again, store.allcitynetwork. Put that up one more time, David, so I can make sure I get the URL right. It's store.allcitynetwork.com. 30% off the entire store, but it's usually 50, 60, 75% off. I would say 30% off is like on the lower end of some of the deals we're giving out. It is insane, Bo.
Yeah, can't wait. And as Johnny said, buy those Cardinals gear right now.
Yes, please do it. please help your boys. Rep it. We got some sweet gear. I mean,
we want to show that our community is the best because it is. Showed up on Sunday. It was an unbelievable watch party.
Yeah.
We're anticipating another one. I know if you're looking for a place to watch the game on Sunday, join Johnny, Britton, Damon,
Craig Morgan.
Craig's going to be there. That's right. Fresh off the Territorial Cup. So
come get Craig Morgan's autograph. Say, hey, Craig.
Craig did his first mailbag today, and we're going to do, we're going to put a couple of the questions up on Friday's show. But he did his first cards mailbag. That's live. Go phnx.com. I encourage everybody to check it out. But let's get to some sights, some sounds from Cardinals facility today as the team looks to bounce back, because Johnny really felt like they were kind of, obviously people were upset with the performance on Sunday, but a lot of the focus has turned to the bounce back as the team, following losses this season's 2-1. And, Marvin Harrison Jr. gave a lot of credit to, like, immediately, somebody asked him at his locker room, who do you credit for this team being able to be resilient and bounce back? And he just said JG. Yeah. And then he got into his answer. So we'll hear from Kyler Murray. We're going to hear from Darius Robinson, who continues to make strides to making his debut come Sunday. He fifth straight practice for Darius Robinson. So he'll but it's all said and done, he'll have 7 under his belt before he takes the field in Minneapolis, potentially on Sunday. So let's get to the franchise quarterback. He'll lead the way. Number one, Kyler Murray, on his team's ability to bounce back.
Bouncing back after a loss. Again, it goes back to the makeup of this team. We understand, and JG does a great job of it. After the game, I know, he's probably feeling the same way we feel, right? But at the end of the day, the message is we got to be ready for next week. We can't let 1 turn into 2, 2 turn into 3. We got to get right back on the horse and keep going. And the guys understand that. We've done a good job of bouncing back, and we get another opportunity to go out there this weekend and do that again.
Kyler's going to need that beanie, Minnesota, this week. It's like the first time. Kyler, you get to wear that, and it's actually cold out. But he's fired up.
Kyler wears beanies in Arizona every week.
He wears them in training camp when it's 110 degrees outside.
Make it make sense. Kyler, make it make sense.
Beanie guy.
Can I just say this one quick thing?
No.
I think last weekend, if the Cardinals win this weekend, how dare you? If the Cardinals win this weekend, we're allowed to call last weekend a good loss. I'm allowed to say it. You're allowed to say it. It's the quintessential, let's get our mind right again. Let's get focused up. Maybe we were feeling ourselves post-bye. We blew out a couple frauds and the Bears and the Jets. Now we got to get re-in-tuned and locked in. And I like this is the perfect. It's why the line in Vegas is basically like a field goal game.
Yeah,
Vegas knows it's going to be a dogfight, and the Vikings are going to get the Cardinals' best shot. I have no question about that. I do not think the Cardinals are going to get rolled over in this game at all.
Well, they're saying all the right things, and it continues with the franchise quarterback who, not dwelling on last week's loss, but understands what matters and what doesn't matter. Here's what Kyler Murray had to say.
But I mean, none of it really matters. My focus is this weekend. Obviously had to flush a tough one that we felt like, wish we would have gotten to separate, but none of it matters. We got to go out here in Minnesota, like I said, in a hostile environment, and find a way to win this one.
I mean, is there people dog on K1 and morons? It's like that's about as locked in as I've ever seen Kyler Murray. And again, I have no idea how he's going to play this weekend. I think he's going to play well, but he's just like, I don't care about whatever. We're focused on this weekend. We blew our chance last weekend to separate moving forward. Like he's a killer this weekend. I'm gonna call it right now. We're gonna get a vintage K1 performance on Sunday.
He had a pretty good. I mean, I know we're going back in the Wayback Machine 4 years ago. He took on Brian Flores' Miami Dolphins defense, put up 30, and they didn't win that game. I think
Defense was atrocious that game. Vance's defense was so bad. Atrocious.
We didn't get it to this with Baldy. We haven't touched too much on it. We talked about it with Britton in the post game show, but Marvin Harrison Jr. another performance where I think a lot of people came away want more. Marv on getting opportunities and taking advantage of them.
Yeah, I think as a receiver, you just got to make the best opportunities that come your way. You can't count the opportunities, got to make the opportunities count. So, any way that you can do that, any point in the game, whether it's early in the game, third down, you got to make those plays. Whether it's late in the game or third down, you got to make those plays. Just whenever the ball comes your way, and do your best to make the play. I think that's what each receiver tries to do.
It'd be nice one day when we can stop talking to Marv about more opportunities and they just are given to him. I don't want to say earned. I think he's earned them, but it's like when you take a player 4th overall and like 3 out of every 4 games is like 40 or 50 yards. Like those are questions that people have to ask. So I'm not knocking the media. Like I'd be asking those same questions. Bo asked those same questions. Like, are you frustrated? What are you going to see? The big explosives, right? When will those return? Something tells me they're going to return on Sunday. I have no backing of that.
What's the idea? What's the sweet spot? Take
we had 6 targets on Sunday, but one of them was like a throwaway when kind of a jump ball play that ended up being incomplete. Marv actually had to play DB on that play. I think like 8 to 10 targets, man. Like especially when the run game doesn't look good. It's like, I feel like we're a broken record on this show. Why can't Marvin have a screen pass and let him do something with it, right? Like the yak ability was such a big part of his game at Ohio State. Why can't the end around be incorporated? Like, and it's not specific to Marv. Like they don't run screens to anybody really. Like unless your name's Trey McBride or James Conner, like the underneath stuff is not reserved for, and by underneath, I mean like at the line of scrimmage is not reserved for the receiver. So I have PTSD from being screened to death with Cliff, but like there is a time and the place for it. The easy targets with Marv, high completion, like I would have no issue, honestly, this week, quick out route, throw him a screen pass. And if he can't manufacture yards, okay, well, we tried it, but something tells me like Marv can break tackles. I want to see that be a part of his game again.
I can't remember. It's one of the good follows on Twitter. Forgive me, I'm taking Twitter content like Thanksgiving spreads. Like there's so much, especially after a game. It was like K1 since day one or Maserati Marv or somebody pointed out that, and I haven't fact checked it, but I don't know if he's got 0 screen passes that he's caught, like wide receiver smoke screens, like nothing.
No, I would buy that. We've watched every play of his career.
Yeah, I think 6, 7.
I just think back to the Miami game, and it's like you just got more powerful as the game went on. It's like absorbing the defensive backs. Like I think we're at the point now where like if the first and second quarter have gone by and Marv has not made an impact for them, and they're not feeding him targets, like we should not expect things to change in the second half. Yeah. Whereas like again, Miami, the Rams game, even to some extent, like the Jets game, get him involved. Let him be a big equalizer. Now, he was a foot away from scoring what could have been the game-winning touchdown against Seattle, and that was unfortunate. But, the red zone possessions for the Cardinals against the Seahawks were not good. Kyler Murray wasn't good. The offensive line wasn't good. James Conner wasn't effective for whatever reason. If I'm going to lose this division, if I'm Jonathan Gannon, I'm going to Drew Petzing this week, and I'm saying, listen, my man, we may not win this division, but we're going to go down swinging. We're going to do it with our best players. We're going to make sure that number 85, number 18, number 6 touch the ball consistently. And if one of them is not working, like number 6, go to 85 and go to 18. Now, they did that to some degree with Trey McBride last week, but he is too talented. And the Cardinals are not a good enough passing team not to include him in the receiving core.
No doubt about it. We'll hear from Darius Robinson in just a bit, plus our hold and fold the line segment as Johnny continues to just be out of line when it comes to this segment. We'll get to that all coming up. PHNX Cardinals.
I actually was money last week in hold or fold the line. I'm going to prove it here in just a couple minutes. But speaking of money, what are you doing with yours? Do you know how to upgrade your financial acumen? Knowing how to achieve your financial goals and dreams? It's never been easier with our friends, our partners at Desert Financial Credit Union, the official credit union, Arizona Cardinals, PHNX Sports, and the Venerable household, offering financial solutions tailored to helping real-life people like you, like me. And again, it's not just checking accounts, savings, mortgages, talking about mortgage rates, loans, credit cards, investment options, and much, much more. Plus, if you're an Arizona sports fan, they're rolling out debit cards. They are phenomenal. Look at those debit cards on the screen right now. You got the bird, you got the player, and you got the white helmet. The white helmet might be my new favorite, but regardless, you got to get one. Rep the Red Sea with the Arizona Cardinal Visa debit card. Show your team spirit. Buy now. Open up a free checking account online. Get an Arizona Cardinal Visa debit card. Go to desertfinancial.com/CardinalsBo to get started.
Like I said, if you're looking for somewhere to watch a game on Sunday, come join us. Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass. You're going to be sick of your family by then. You're going to be sick of the leftovers. It's time to go get some real food. How about it? Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass. The experience is the best in the valley. Of course, lounge at either their AAA 4-diamond resorts and let relaxation take charge. Unbeatable desert mountain views, 4,500 slots, live table games. Catch all the action at any of their sports books, including one we're going to be watching at the games at. You want to enjoy it. It's just across from the BetMGM Sportsbook there at the Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass, hosting events all year. Our watch parties, Suns watch parties, I believe a Q&A with our D-backs crew and Archie Bradley from our D-backs. Great. He's going to be there answering all your questions. The watch parties and more. Stay tuned how to come hang out with us. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playGila.com for more details.
I want the details on big number 56 and his mindset going into this weekend. Here's Darius Robinson ahead of his debut on Sunday.
I learned I could do this. I'm excited to be in the NFL, excited to compete. It's kind of like I said, in college, the SEC I think is the closest thing to this. So just I can compete. So I'm just excited when it is time to go cut it on. Not yet. I just try to run as much as I can in practice and after practice, get my wind up. But we'll see eventually when I get out there how I really feel. But I'm just trying to push myself in practice so I'm in shape.
I mean, we've teased it. It's almost kind of a running joke, and this is not a shot at Darius, but we've talked about Darius Robinson's debut on this show for 7-8 weeks now. Like the minute he was brought back for his practice window to the moment he lost his mother and then missed time away, and then we saw him in Miami. And fast forward now, he's making his debut December 1st. You were at that practice, that faithful practice, Bo, when he went down. Fast forward to now. Like, what are your expectations both on and off the field for number 56? Because mine are, I think by the end of the year still, as crazy as it sounds, he's going to be one of the best players on the Cardinals defense.
I agree with you. And, we had the luxury of having kind of more of a view at the open practices back then, got to see more Darius Robinson. Now it's just him kind of hitting the sled, hitting the tackling dummy, just go through some warm-up drills before they break off and the media session closes and they go to 11s and 7s. So haven't been able to really kind of see him, but like he talked about it. He's trying to get his conditioning up as best as he possibly can, but you can't mimic football shape. And that's the biggest thing. I think that's going to kind of determine what his workload's going to be, once he does hit the playing field again, because it is such a physically demanding position. And as versatile as he is, and as much as he's going to play across the defensive line, taking on all sorts of body types on the offensive line, playing his defensive lineman position, like, is he going to be able to, really kind of make a dent in things? I still think so. I think that they're going to have a good, snap count in mind of what they want him to play. They always like to have 5 guys in that rotation. So it's not like if he needs to catch his wind, he can't get out of there. And a Dante Stills, and LJ Collier, or Roy Lopez, Carice Tunga can't get in there and give him some breath.
Yeah, I feel like he's a violent player that possesses so much of what they have not had even before the loss to B. Joe Ojulari. Like his ability to consistently disrupt the line of scrimmage. And this isn't a knock against guys like Zaven Collins and Dante Stills. Stills is maxing out his potential. He has already eclipsed his draft status and has been a great diamond in the rough. But as Baldy mentioned, like Darius was right around the same draft kind of rankings as a guy like Chop Robinson, right? We saw the kid out of Washington that went to the U of I, Jerzon Newton. He was playing, had a big role, albeit in the loss against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Like, these are the guys that we're going to comp Darius to. But I keep going back to the notion that it is not about ability. The ability is not a question mark. It's not an Andy Isabella situation. Like, can this guy play in the NFL? Right now, it's, okay, can he provide a boost for a team that's firmly in a division title chase? And can he get up to speed and is he in shape? Because I still think Darius is going to be a damn good player for a long time. Yeah. He's just too talented. He's too committed. And again, like, you look at why the Seahawks beat the Cardinals on Sunday, you're hoping that that's what Darius is going to be able to provide to you. That's what the Niners are missing right now. They're missing a Javon Kinlaw-esque type of player. Darius, to me, such a high floor. I mean, it's going to be nice when he's finally 100% cooking with gas with a bunch of games under his belt. Like, he's got comps to former Cardinal greats like Darnold Dockett. That's his ceiling, in my opinion. Yeah.
With all due respect to Zaven Collins, who's really kind of emerged here in the last couple of weeks.
Doing a nice job.
You know, Dante Stills has been great ever since he was inactive a long time ago. Like, he's had a really rock solid sophomore campaign after a great rookie season as a 6th-round pick. I think once you get Darius back, you finally have on that level of the defense a problem for opposing offenses, a consistent problem. Like these other guys, I think they benefit from scheme, from their motor, from just going out there and giving it everything they have. And I think that they've developed into some really good players. But I think Darius has the potential to be great. And for you to have players on, the defensive front line, the off-ball linebackers go, because you're in Mac Wilson, and then your defensive secondary is playing at such a high level. If you get that rush and match it with the cover, this defense has the ability to get off the field even earlier in series and put the ball back into their offense's hands. And hopefully that will give, maybe with more opportunities, offense to get back on track and produce a little bit more than it has this season.
I can't wait to watch Darius Robinson play. It's been so long. And again, like that fateful preseason debut where it was like, man, this guy jumps off your television and abruptly pulled because he was part of their long-term plans as a starter. Can't wait to watch that.
There was a moment today where I was filming the practice and I'm watching, Darius 10 feet from me. And then there's Marv off in the distance. So I just, like, you can find it PHNX_Cardinals. It's not anything like profound or crazy, but it's just like, there's Darius, your 1st-round pick that Monty Osford acquired in that, that deal with the Houston Texans to trade out at 3, that broke our heart each and every week when the Texans would win a football game. But he's a 1st-round pick. He's a guy that I think there's a lot of confidence within the organization that's going to be a game wrecker. And then there's your big-time playmaker off in the distance, Marvin Harrison Jr. catching a pass from Kyler Murray. Like, they're starting to really kind of up the talent level here. It's unfortunate we've had to wait this long, but we all understand given, the context of that. But Cardinals are starting to kind of really build this foundation with some solid players.
It's a lot easier to stomach, waiting for the explosives from Marv and the debut of Darius when this team's 6-5 and firm control their destiny. That guy, Angelo, 187. Let's get to these super chats ahead of Holder Fold the Line. $5. Thank you, friend of the program, Angelo. You know how much I love this show? When I play Madden franchise, I'm making trades and picks. I hear Johnny in my head calling me a fraud. Well, it just all depends on the trade that you're doing now. But if you're trading away a 6th-rounder for a guy that doesn't have a sack this year, yeah, Angelo, I'm gonna call you.
Oh, come on. Come on, we're 24 hours away from less than 24 hours away from Thanksgiving. You can't be nice about.
I'm thankful for
Browning.
pressures and nerd stats. No, I'm thankful for when a guy gets Sam Darnold's ass on the ground and helps the Cardinals get a dub. Baron Brownie, if you're ready to do that this week, I'm ready. I'm ready with you, my friend.
Oh man, just don't call anybody unnecessarily a fraud at your Thanksgiving table tomorrow. Okay, it usually doesn't go well. It turns into probably like the Biz Nasty situation from earlier this week.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, my favorite thing is people in the chat that think that Johnny calling people frauds is like affecting what's going on the field. Like Johnny, you called Gino a fraud all week last week. And
apologize.
No.
You mean the guy that led his team to 10 points? Yeah, he's a fraud. He's got 12 picks and 12 touchdowns. Cardinals
Potato bread, $19.99, not a fraud. He's very giving, very generous. Can't wait to see the Cardinals playing the Vikings. But until then, happy early Thanksgiving, Bird Gang. Turkey emoji.
Love that potato bread. Friend of the program. We appreciate you, my friend. Cruz, our friend, $4.99. Marv is projected, Bo and Damon, to finish the season 56 catches, 844 yards. I'm not one to say they have to feed Marv, but that's unacceptable. Hashtag love Yuma, Bo.
One of my Yuma brethren out there. I can't
blood in, blood out.
That's right. 844 yards. Like that. I mean, you can point to 20 years ago, Larry Fitzgerald's rookie season where he was held under 1,000. We'll see where the touchdown numbers end. He continues to be a threat in the red zone, but yeah, I think that a lot of people are underwhelmed by that, and they want it. I hope that he makes a bigger case, and people have a better feeling before the end of the season. But the clock's ticking now. I mean, the sand is running out of the hourglass as far as the opportunities for that.
Cardinals need to throw the ball to win in this division. Obviously, keep it up from a run game standpoint. But I'm with you guys. Like that's got to be a priority for the offseason. Like, hey, Drew Petzing, let's get some creativity with this passing game. Like, I max it out right now the best you can. Go to your best plays, but this offseason, we need to see new wrinkles in this passing game that just don't exist right now. I'm ready to see some wrinkles and some tears on Holder Fold the Line right now.
Is that all of it?
That was it.
Right.
But the likes are coming. They're flowing here on a football Wednesday. Damon, I'm going to let you have the floor, young man. Holder Fold the Line. It could be one of the best segments of the year here. Very fitting at the end of 2024. Should we review last week's picks, Bo?
No, I don't think so. It's not pertinent information. Oh, damn it. All right. I was the only big fat loser of the group. I picked Rams money line, and boy, was I wrong. But Damon started the week off strong. Thursday Night Football, huge win for the Brownies and Jameis Winston. And then you got Johnny with the Commanders pooping down their leg here. Cowboys money line plus 425. Where's that put us for the season standings? I'm the only one in the yellow.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness, gentlemen. I have waited and dreamt of this moment. There's so much good happening on this graphic, Damon. Take it away.
I told everybody, I was going to put my white face paint, my big red clown nose, and my rainbow wig, and that's here what I did. It does feel a little weird with me being in first place with the clown emoji on, but I told Johnny I would, so I had to stay true to my word.
I'm so proud of you. You look like that guy.
You have money bags for eyes, though.
Absolutely. They'll never take it away from me.
Johnny, let me first tell our friends watching on television, wherever it may be, jump over to gophnx.com and hit that live button. The show continues there. But if this is where your journey ends, thank you for tuning in. Of course, we'll be live again on Friday here at PHNX. But yeah, back to Damon having what's salt in the wound is he had to create this graphic.
He looks like Wooly Willy. Remember Wooly Willy, the game where you would take the magnetic.
Oh yeah.
That's what Damon's face looks like here. But listen, so much good stuff going on. This is like one of the greatest moments in the history of this show. I have entered the green with the biggest upset of the year on the history of this show. Bo is now in the yellow with negative funds. so he can no longer talk grief to me. And Damon, why, for those of you who don't know, why Damon has to have a clown face on is last week, my Cowboys pick was so ridiculed by my two co-hosts on the show. Damon made an updated graphic last Friday as he gloated after his Browns game and just said, I already know Johnny's going to lose. I already updated the graphic. I could have killed him. I was so furious that Damon Dawg went against me. It's one thing to be against my pick, but to make a graphic to shame your boy, so fitting that my Dallas Cowboys took care of. We all knew Cliff was going to blow it. So now I've entered plus money, and I'm going for that top spot, Damon. You better start stringing along wins, because what if I were to win the season series? What would happen then?
Shut up. My God. This is like any episode of The Office where Dwight gets like, he gets control, like he gets to be the boss for the day. It's just like, come on, man. We don't want to hear any of it. Congratulations. A blind squirrel found a nut. You got it.
That was one of the savviest picks.
The highs and lows of that Hail Mary being completed by Jaden Daniels last week. I mean, I was on top of the world. I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, we escaped with our lives. The Commanders are going to win in OT. And then Zane Gonzalez goes out there and misses an extra point. Johnny just fading Cardinals bums. That's all he's doing. He's fading Cliff, fading Zane Gonzalez. Unreal.
What will we do this week on Hold?
Yeah, well, and let's get into that real quick, Johnny. Before I'm going to preface before this graphic gets put on screen here. You said that you're catching up on me here, and you're going for a pretty big pick this week to potentially close that gap. So I decided I'm going to keep it safe. All we got to do is we got to keep building this lead and put on screen. I'm going with the Rams money line here. Minus 150. I don't care.
Wow.
Talk your crap. I don't care that it's not plus money. I hit plus 168 last week. The Rams are playing the Saints. It's on the road. They came off a big loss last week. They need to win this game. The Rams are winning easily, minus 150. Lock it in. You're not passing me, even if you win.
Gutless. What a gutless pick.
I've broken Damon. That's what's happening.
Johnny's not going to pass me. He's not going to pass me. Because I'm hitting, and even if his hits, which it might, I'll still be ahead of him.
Why didn't you just take Kansas City Chiefs money line?
Yeah, you'd say Chiefs minus 500, Damon. Basically the same thing against the Raiders. By the way, did you guys see what Antonio Pierce said today? He goes, it's the best team in the world versus the worst team. And I'm like, what, bro? Get Antonio Pierce out of here.
Let me get his own team.
Hang on. I got to get the quote. It got torched, rightfully so. He goes, let's call a spade a spade. Best football team in the world versus the worst team in football. It's like, bro, you're the coach of the Raiders. You're the reason why they're the worst.
I think the Raiders players are probably ready to run through a wall for that after hearing that, right?
Bro, get out of here.
All right. While Johnny looks for the quote, I will go with my pick. I'm going to take the New England Patriots at home against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go in the way back, jump into the DeLorean where the Patriots used to beat up on the Colts in big games. This is not a big game. This is a bunch of bad football teams, two bad football teams going up against each other. The records say that the Colts are better, but if you watched them play recently, wasn't a good performance against the Lions. They squeaked out a win over the Jets, but before that, the Colts, they lost 3 straight. The the Patriots, they've dropped back-to-back games, but they beat the Bears. They've played some tight contests. I'm going to take the Patriots in this one just because you get plus money here. It's at home. I think that they're playing relative to the Patriots this season, decent ball. I like their chance taking care of business at Foxborough.
I like both your picks. I'm holding with both of you. I almost picked the Patriots in my prediction, and I would love the Rams to lose. The Saints they could lose this game, but it's not something I would pick for myself, Damon, but I'm all right with you going with it. And yeah, I think the Patriots, Anthony Richardson last week, people are like, he's all the way back. He's not. He's going to have a stinker this week. He's going to turn the ball over in cold weather. It's going to be
a bad game. He only did he his completion percentage is atrocious last
Well,
week.
it's always bad.
Was he like 11 for 25 or something like that? They're a decent defense. The one thing that the Patriots can hang their hat on is they can play good defense as long as their offense doesn't put them in compromising positions. I like your pick, Johnny. I wanted it to be mine, but apparently you've got dibs on your hot streak here.
The way this works is until the Cliff and company wins the game, I will be predicting or betting on the team that's playing the Commanders. This week, it is the Titans. Next week, it is the Jags. So buckle up for that. The Titans have actually been playing good football. They beat Houston this week on the road. They had competitive losses to the Chargers and the Vikings. Early in the season, they should have beaten the Packers, Jets, and Bears to kick off the year. Will Levis looks okay. And they can, you know what? Speaking of good defenses, just like the Patriots, they're sneaky good defensively. Whereas we all know what we saw with Washington. They're not buttoned up. Second half Cliff. And I believe this game is in Tennessee. There's so many reasons for me to like the Titans this week. Plus 210. Feed me it. I feel really good about it. Like last week was a lock. I felt excellent about Dallas. Of course, it hit for me. But this week, again, anytime you can get a plus in front of a Cliff Kingsbury coach team in December and January, you take it 9 times out of 10.
Don't disagree. I'm bummed that you get dibs on Cliffy's demise.
Rules is rules.
So obviously you're holding with Johnny. I think you said that.
I am
Are you holding
for
with
sure.
me?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those, like, people are gonna stand around the table and do the blessing together tomorrow in some situations, and you'll dead fish somebody because you don't know them very well. That's me holding with Damon. Like, I'm gonna give him like a dead fish because I don't believe in the product that much. The fact that you're going with a minus 150 Rams, I thought you had more integrity than that.
And that's fine. And that's fine, Bo. And Johnny, I don't want to hear anything about integrity from you in this segment. But Bo, that's fine. I just, the worst case scenario here is Johnny winning this whole thing.
I agree.
So therefore, you should see my strategy when it comes to, I need to play the hits here. I need to get some W's on the board. I need to keep building this positive lead because Johnny keeps going for the jugular. And if he hits a couple in a row, he's going to be in first place. And that's like the worst case scenario. That's
like a guy who's trying to write a novel is like, I got to go back to grade school to get the juices flowing. I can't write my college thesis. I'm going to go back to second grade. It's like, that's what Damon's bets are right now. It's like, are you ready for playoff football, Damon? Or are you going back to the preseason? Because that's what that bet shows me.
He's like, yeah, I want to compete with the highest level in Madden, so I'm going to put it on rookie level for a couple of weeks. It's not going to make you a better Madden player.
No, come on, Damon. Have a little pride. Have a little
What
pride.
What about me? If anybody, I'm hitting desperation mode. I'm looking for. I need to win big time. I'm in the yellow.
Nobody cares.
100%. Yeah, like the sub bullet to this week in my coronation is the fact that Bo is in complete shambles. Like Bo being negative this week. Like, how many straight losses have you had? I can't remember when you've won one last.
I can't either.
No. Yeah, we all like the Rams though. So it's not like your picks have been egregious, but I
had a tough Thursday night loss.
Yeah, Bills, Chiefs.
Money.
Bengals lose a lot. Yep.
Who did the Bengals play in this game? Do we remember?
Was that the Thursday night loss that they suffered?
That was Ravens, I think. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been close.
Man, I was all over the Bengals. I think I went.
Oh no, sorry. That was the same pick. That was when Johnny didn't let me change my pick. Then you did Browns.
Yeah, that was a bad loss. That was a bad one.
Oh my God. Bo, have you lost like 5 in a row?
It's not great, guys. Let's turn the direction back to the feud between you and Johnny.
Listen, it's like if I win this weekend and Damon loses, like it's going to get extremely uncomfortable for your boy. We haven't even mentioned the fact that I could end his fantasy football season this week with our friends in PHNX Sports Fantasy. So Damon and I frenemies this weekend at Gila River Resort. Speaking of Gila, come on out, party with us. We want to see you out there and rep your merch. Rep a little PHNX Sports merch. And if you're like, Johnny, I don't have any, well, here's a perfect opportunity for you. Become a diehard, go PHNX.com, pick up a free hat and or shirt, and then go and shop the early access deals at store.allcitynetwork.com right now, up to 75% off with our friends at AllCITY. Get the gear that you see Bo and I rep, Damon rep on a daily basis here on this show and beyond. So fired up. And we joke around on this show. Nothing gets me more fired up than we're out at events, we're at the stadium, State Farm Stadium, we're at training camp, and people are rocking PHNX Cardinals gear. I mean, it gets me emotional thinking about it.
It is. It's humbling to see. We're grateful for each and every one of you that tunes into this show, listens to this show, participates as a diehard, is in the Discord, is in the chat, is following us on social, engaging with us on Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be, in the comments, post show here on the YouTube channel. We're just so thankful for each and every one of you. You're the reason for this show. We're just glad to be a part of this community. It's definitely something that Johnny, Damon, myself, Craig Morgan, the entire PHNX family are so thankful for everybody out there for giving us an ability to talk about this team each and every day.
A great final super chat here ahead of the holiday weekend. T Clearly, $9.99. Happy Thanksgiving from Virginia, Bo's stomping grounds. Win big in Minnesota this Sunday. Big win. Couldn't said it better. We've got a Friday preview show. No show tomorrow because of the holiday, but we got exclusive content dropping on the YouTube page. So we need everybody go subscribe if you have not done so already to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Hit that bell, Bo, for notifications anytime we go live.
I think we've got 2-3 pieces of new content hitting the YouTube streets tomorrow. So yeah, absolutely look out for that. And then Friday we will have bright and early before the show. We'll have some. But Craig Morgan's going to be at Cardinals practice tomorrow. Follow him on Twitter and X, as well as PHNX_Cardinals for coverage there. If you're a sicko like us, we're going to be looking at that as well. And then who's going to be bold enough to pick the Cardinals on the road? You're going to have to tune in to our Friday preview show, 4:30. Don't miss it. In the meantime, happy Thanksgiving from PHNX Cardinals and PHNX Sports. Talk to you soon.
We all silly like the mayor.